Hold on, test, making sure we all good, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? Uh-oh. I think we're in business. Yo, let me know if you guys can hear me. Once you guys get in here, just let me know if you guys can hear my voice. I'm also trying to pull the chat up. My iPad's a little slow. One more moment, guys. Okay. We're in business. Loud and clear, I appreciate you, Karen. What's going on, guys? We are back with another one. We are moments away from Donald Trump's live address to Congress. It's a joint address. Pretty sure he has some guest speakers that are going to be involved in this one. I'm honestly pretty excited to see what's going to go down because we don't really have, it's not clear, and this was kind of just like spur of the moment. So excited to see what's going on here. We're going to tune in. I'm pretty sure this is set to start in about 5 to 6 minutes, 9 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to tune in, see what's going on here, and just get a look. I'm excited, guys. Make sure you guys also hit that like button. Hit that like button for me.
This is what I came out of. They got us into a ditch. I'm digging us out. And we heard him blame Bush for the entire
Loud and clear, yo. Appreciate you,
so
Amy.
You're saying what we should expect tonight
Cynthia,
is
appreciate
not
you.
just
What's
list
going on,
the
guys?
accomplishments of the last 40-something days. Tell us where we've been and how much it's going to take to get us out of this hole.
Yeah, that's just it. This is contrast messaging at its best. This is a president that's been there for 6 weeks. And what he's done just in 6 weeks is a stark contrast to the last 4 years. And the polling shows that, the Harvard-Harris poll. It's worth reflecting, Jesse, too, on the moment for President Trump here. You know, President Trump, the last time he stood at that dais you are looking at, he was standing there on the brink of COVID-19 in 2020. A pandemic was about to ravage the nation. He had just been through the impeachment over a perfect phone call. And then he had no clue that down the road there would be these trials that the Democrats put on. And here he will stand tonight as a president reelected, a president with a majority approval rating, according to CBS and Harvard-Harris. So I think you're going to see a victory lap from what I've read, but a
victory
contrast
lap
with the 4 years of darkness the American people have been through as we enter what President Trump calls the golden age.
Okay.
And you have any idea who this surprise special guest is? Because it feels like everybody in Washington knows who it is, and they're just teasing me.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. You know, we remember he brought Rush Limbaugh. That was quite a moment. We'll see who he brings tonight. I don't know. Maybe Zelensky. I like the Zelensky cake. That was a good one, Jesse.
All right, so maybe I was right about Zelensky. Well, I don't want to ruin the surprise, but who knows? That would definitely be very, very dramatic to get that mineral deal done with Zelensky in person, especially after that not so great, as we described it, Oval Office meeting. Kaylee, thank you so much. That's all for us. Brett and Martha are going to take over our special coverage.
Let's go, guys. I'm so pumped too, Joe. Let's go.
Yes, we are.
Is the volume all right, guys? Let me know if the volume's messing up or anything. I'm definitely reading the chat, but I'm also tuned in. I'm not sure what we're getting here right now, but imagine if Zelensky just pops out of nowhere and they actually do the mineral deal. I mean, the way we seen that last meeting end was an absolute car crash in slow motion. I mean, the way that guy got booted out was insane, guys. Let's see what they're talking about.
It comes as President
Clear
Trump
on my
tries to
end.
implement
Okay, I
his agenda
appreciate
on
you,
the
D.
economy, foreign policy, the border, and
I
slashing
think Trump goes on in about
government
3 more
waste.
minutes,
Good
guys.
evening. From Washington, I'm Brett Baer.
And I'm Martha McCallum. Good to have you with us tonight. So the president is in the Capitol building, ready to deliver a speech that he hopes will highlight his accomplishments so far and outline his agenda for the future. The address will be followed by the Democratic response, as it always is. This time around, it is Michigan Democratic
I'm trying to
freshman
see, guys, the
Senator
volume.
Alyssa Slotkin.
You might have to
We
refresh,
are looking
Joe.
live there. You see the Vice President Vance and House Speaker Mike Johnson. Vice President Vance telling Sean Hannity this week he was getting his facial recognition and reaction ready because he'll be behind the president in full view as you look at the House chamber. By the way, tonight the designated survivor is the Veterans Affairs Secretary Doug Collins. It's not just a Kiefer Sutherland show. It is the real thing during a joint address or State of the Union for continuity of government. All the people in the line of succession are in that chamber. Now you're seeing some of the other dignitaries coming in. These are the diplomatic corps.
Members of the Supreme Court.
And the members of the Supreme Court behind them.
Okay.
Joining us with a preview tonight, Harold Ford Jr., Dana Perino, and Britt Hume. Britt, we've been through a lot of these. And what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I've been through a lot.
Volume is still very clear. Yo, thanks, Cynthia and Amy. I really do appreciate you guys.
High 40s of these addresses, State of the Union addresses, or as in the case here, just a presidential address to Congress. It's not
Yo, make
always
sure you
the
guys hit
case,
that like button, hit that thumbs up for me.
The president has much to point to. 6 weeks into his presidency? You know, you're just getting started. You may not have your cabinet in place or whatever. Your legislative agenda is just beginning to move. So you do the best you can. In this particular instance, because of this wave of executive orders and the things that the president learned how to do when he was president the first time, he's got quite a lot to show for it, especially and particularly the border. He has action he's taken against diversity and equity.
Excited, guys. Excited is an understatement right now. Freaking pumped. Let's go.
You know, Dana, we're getting ready for the First Lady, Melania Trump, to walk in. Tonight, there's a lot of big, big issues, but a lot of this speech probably is going to be what has already happened. He's going to tout.
It is what Britt just said really struck a chord with me. Like, how often is it that you have a speech where in the first month the president can say, here's my list of accomplishments, and we're in the 80th minute of the speech still talking about that. But I also can't help but think about last year when President Biden gave the State of the Union speech. Because he was able to get through the speech, that was the sole justification for months and months that he was prepared to be commander-in-chief for another 4 years. And this is a very different situation.
And remember, we heard so much about the preparation, that he was at Camp David for days getting ready. His people were prepping him. Harold Ford Jr. joins us as well. Harold, your thoughts as we get ready for this to get started?
I like these nights, and I like a night better like this when the chamber is respectful. When the speaker is cheerful and lays out.
I don't know why, guys, but I got this crazy sense of excitement, like there's about to be some championship sports game to be played or something. I don't know what it is, but I feel like we're in for a treat tonight. Grab your popcorn now, because you're not going to want to miss what's going down next. I'm telling you right now, guys. Also hit that like button. Make sure you like it up. Gets the video out there. I want everyone to see this. Originally, I wasn't going to cover it, but I'm like, it's 9 p.m. when this comes on. I might as well. We all watch this together, you know?
Attending, but
President Trump will say, according to the excerpts, our confidence is back, our spirit is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. It's unstoppable. So this president ready to take a bit of a victory lap and lay out his agenda.
Fox volume is clear now. Okay. All right, guys, you guys worried me for a little bit there. Okay, hold up.
All wear pink. Tonight, members of the Black Caucus will be in black this evening.
I'm not the best with this technical stuff, guys. I'll say that right now. I'm an IT major, but sometimes it even stumps me. So
for the top of the hour again,
don't scare me. But let me know if you got any type of mishaps. I'll definitely try to fix it.
To Congress continues.
Uh-oh, the timer's running out. Let's go.
A live look at the U.S. Capitol. It's a beautiful night here in Washington. We're just moments away now from President Trump. And tonight's address
absolutely
to a joint
clear.
session
Thank you so much,
Congress.
Amy, Cynthia,
Good evening
from Washington.
D, Joe. Appreciate all your help, guys.
And I'm Martha McCallum. Great to have you all with us this evening. Any moment now, President Trump will be announced. He will enter the House floor. The familiar call of the Sergeant of Arms. He'll make his way down the aisle. We've all seen this many times, but this is a return for President Trump. He'll be greeting lawmakers, Democrats, and Republicans on his way in.
He'll lay out his agenda, highlight his accomplishments to those lawmakers, and obviously to you, the American people. Let's bring in senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey. He joins us live from the North Lawn. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett and Martha. And we have just received our first excerpts of the president's address tonight. If he sticks to the script, he is expected to say, Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control, and we are working hard to get it back down. He will say, later this week, I will take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. And he will say, whatever they tariff us, we tariff them. And we can also confirm the viral tweet that was going around that the
Let's go, guys.
Team here at the White House has been getting ready for tonight with a call back to the campaign trail and their boss's trip to a drive-thru with McDonald's. Brett, Martha.
RFK isn't going to be happy about that.
So we're getting ready for the president to walk in. At that point, you'll hear from the sergeant at arms who will announce the president. You see members assembled here as they wait. Vice President J.D. Vance, it's his first time up there on the podium. Mike Johnson as well, or was there last year for President Biden's speech. So everyone is assembled. It's a joint speech to Congress rather than a State of the Union because it's so early in the term. But as we've been saying, President Trump feels, and rightfully so, that he has quite a few things to list when he gets up there in a few minutes.
This is only the second president to do a second joint address.
Oh, my goodness.
The other one being
Close your eyes, guys.
Cleveland. As you see Nancy Pelosi, House Speaker Emeritus, they call her, sitting next to Steny Hoyer there, wearing the pink, and they are unified in their pink outfits tonight. We don't know what's going to happen with Democrats, as Harold mentioned earlier. Let's bring in our panel. Fox News chief political analyst Britt Hume. Dana Perino is co-anchor of America's Newsroom, co-host of The Five. Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee congressman and co-host of The Five. We have a lot of those. And Larry Kudlow of Fox Business. Larry, let me start with you. Obviously heading into this speech, tariffs is the big talk of today and what it means for the U.S. economy.
Oh, my goodness.
As we're waiting for the First Lady to walk in.
It's like a freaking model runway. Look at her hair.
What do you think about this moment and that economic issue?
Well, I think there's a lot of talk about modifying the tariffs that were slapped on Canada and Mexico today. It's a bit confusing. That's what Harold Lutnick told me on our show. You and I talked about it on your show. I don't know if the president will address the tariff thing directly. Look, I'm hoping that he has a big sort of unleash prosperity here. His whole program, cut taxes.
Now that's a first lady, guys, a true class act.
Including,
come on now. How could you not
taxes.
side with that?
I want to see a growthier message from him. I mean, it's going to be very optimistic. It's going to be upbeat. It's going to be very positive. But on the economy, his program has to be presented in at least some general way so that people know where he's headed. He's got to have growth. He's got to say, I'm going to fatten your wallets to middle-class people.
As you look at the president's cabinet walking in right now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and behind him, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, all the cabinet members walking down, doing their meet and greet along the aisle. And we'll see that from the president in just moments.
It's remarkable how many of these cabinet members were affirmed so quickly. There's Pam Bondi, the Department of Justice, and Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, all looking happy and excited for this big night as they await the president's speech. They've been very busy. These people have fanned out all over the world in many cases and have gotten right down to work eliminating DEI programs and being, also the subject of some pushback in many ways. There's
RFK, he's going to hunt down the McDonald's.
Entering the chamber right now.
Who's got the McDonald's?
Dealing with the measles outbreak.
Dana, a lot of State of the Union addresses, and we keep on saying this is a joint address, but essentially takes the form of a State of the Union address. They're mostly like laundry lists or shopping lists that a president wants from Congress. We're told that this process was a little upended this time, and that each one of these cabinet secretaries
Look at him.
Smoothed out.
Shifty Schiff knows what's coming next. Look at him, guys.
Speech together. You've been through this process.
Oh my goodness, this is too good.
Will definitely
Everyone's
want
there.
Something in the speech, because then they can go out and market it and sell it. Now, this is a huge audience for the president tonight.
Well, I like that handkerchief.
That might be a little different from day to day is that it's not just political junkies or supporters or opponents, right? This is a big, broad audience. But he also is going to talk to Congress, and I think it's very important that he be clear in what he wants the Congress to do in order to carry out his agenda, do what Larry just said in terms of the economy. And also, I'm very curious, two things. One, that all of these Democratic women decided to wear pink tonight after last night they decided to vote en masse against protecting girls' sports. That is kind of interesting. Yeah. The other thing is, it's like the president is going to be able to announce that actually the border is now secure. It only took 44 days. Are the Democrats going to applaud for that?
Yeah, we see Kristi Noem walking in. Spoke with Tom Homan earlier today. Obviously, the president will tout, Harold, the success that he's had at the border. The numbers are extraordinary. It's down 98% from where it was under President Biden. It was such a glaringly obvious issue during the election, and Democrats pretty much dug in.
That just shows you how much of a failure Joe Biden truly was. Like, come on, that quick?
The president talks about the different budget blueprints from the House and the Senate. But I do think Larry touches on something that that the president, I hope, focuses on in his speech for his sake. You've got to figure out how you grow this economy for everyone. The stock market's taken a little bit of a hit the last 2 days, but that's the richest of the country that really looks to that. How you deal with prices for everyday people, how you ensure that their taxes are cut for everyday people. I'm going to be curious to hear how the president talks about that tonight and how he tries to reconcile or talks about how Congress should reconcile whatever differences they may have, that being Republicans in the House and the Senate, to advance some of these ideas and proposals.
You know, I wonder out loud how much DOGE budget cutting will be in this speech, because actually it's polling very well. It's very popular. And it goes to Harold's point. It cuts back on inflation. It cuts back on the cost of living. He's got, look, I think this is going to be a real top-down. It's not like cabinet secretaries making requests. I think this is going to be top-down, Trumpian, his closest advice. Here's my agenda. Here's my vision.
Brit Hume, you know, the Democratic response tonight after this speech will be from first-term Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin. That's usually a very unenviable position because you're just coming after the president in this massive chamber. But I expect the economy is going to drive her speech later on.
Go RFK. Let's go, guys. I'm fired up.
The Democrats think they may have an opening on. I think it's a little early in the administration for people to start to turn against the president on the economy, although obviously the continuation of inflation is something they have to worry about, especially with tariffs in place, which have the effect of driving up prices normally. So there's some concerns there. I suspect she will point to that. As you point out, Brett, it's a very unenviable job. Very few people have ever done it and had any impact with it. It's usually people turn the television off after the president's speech is over. They may listen to a little analysis, and that's about it. So I think, you know, it's a tough job for her. I don't envy her the task, but I expect she will focus on prices, the price of eggs in particular.
If you remember the response, it's usually for the wrong reason. So we'll see what comes of that tonight. As we're waiting for the Sergeant of Arms to bring in the president.
Oh my goodness.
The cabinet's still making their way
Trump's
down
just
there.
got a legendary cabinet.
Director of National Intelligence, Kelly Loeffler, the Small Business Administrator, and you know, they're just chatting in the chamber there on their way down. They're running a little behind.
There's the Department of Education.
Wolf Den Lynn, welcome to the community. I appreciate you for subscribing. Yo, make sure you guys hit that like button. Yo, big shouts to Wolf Den Lynn. Welcome in, family. Oh my goodness, freaking superstar.
These people, there was all this backlash, and these people will never get confirmed. But this is a president who won all of the swing states and won the popular vote, and it's really unprecedented to imagine that he wouldn't get the cabinet that he wanted. And this is a night for them to assemble as a group, as well as they listen to what the president has laid out for them. You know, Dana, as we wait for this, we expect any moment the president's going to walk in.
Yo, what's up, Rich?
But a quick thought on this issue of tariffs, which we brought up before, because this is a rocky issue for him to grapple with.
I've maintained that I think that the sequencing was off. I feel that, I know that President Trump has talked about tariffs a lot, but mainly when he talked to a broad audience like this and during the campaign, it was about high prices, inflation, and the economy and jobs, the border, and crime. Tariffs are something that are going to be complex to explain to people. And so I think what could have happened is, why not wait until a speech like tonight to explain, dear American people, this is what I want to do, and this is why. And it might be rocky for a while, but hang with me, be patient. Follow me. I want to persuade you to go with me all the way to this end point that I see. Instead, to me, it feels slightly chaotic. Maybe that's by design. I don't know. Perhaps I'll read in a book in 20 years that this was all a strategy. But I think that going back and forth, and then you have Republicans who will defend him on tariffs and then defend the pulling back of tariffs, and it's all genius. In the meantime, same time, people who are looking at their 401ks, which they are accustomed to doing now, are concerned. And so the jury is very much out on this. And I don't know how much time he'll spend talking about that tonight, but I do think the sequencing on the communications on this was a little off.
He will say we have...
Just a quick point. I would have preferred a different sequence. I
What
would
would
have
you
said,
prefer?
get your tax cuts done first, and then go for the tariffs. All right? The tax cuts really give people some monetary torque. As I say, it fattens middle-class wallets. There will be some belt tightening on the tariffs. I don't think it's going to be that bad, and it needs to be explained. But
I feel like Trump is doing what needs to be done. I mean, he's the first, one of the first presidents to actually have the guts to start collecting on tariffs, you know, getting money. Joe Biden wouldn't do it.
Accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4
Yo, you
years.
guys, I'm so excited. It's actually crazy. Like, I'm only 13 minutes past the hour. Where is this guy at? Come on, he's got us on the edge of our seats right now. My popcorn's getting cold, Trump.
In the Oval Office with President Zelensky.
Yo, thanks again, Wolf Den Lin. I appreciate you for that sub, my guy.
Zelensky is ready to go forward, and we
I see long hair. I'm so sorry if you are not. I think you actually may be a woman. I'm sorry, Lynn. What's up, my friend? I'm so sorry.
A stronger economy, promised no taxes on tips, and ending wars.
Doing what needs to be done, yo. That is correct, Rich. I mean, so many folks need to hear it.
We had a great week last week.
Harold maybe too.
Those three leaders. To see that meeting end like it did had to be disheartening for the president, both presidents. So if he talks about that tonight with some progress, that he can talk about a mineral deal being closer, I think it'd be good for him. It'd be good for our security guarantee, the architecture we built in Europe and for Ukraine.
So we hear the gavel from Speaker Johnson, and we are ready for the Sergeant at Arms, William McFarland, to announce the president.
Bring him on in. So based, guys. Just him being here is based. Like, think about it. All of what he had to go through to get to this moment right here, this point. Oh my goodness. This is electric. This is reminiscent of a sports team coming in the arena, slapping the fans' hands, cheering at the crowd, fist pumping. Like, this is what I kind of equate this to right now. Look at the reaction of Trump coming in that room right now. Everyone. This is not, they are not, did you guys just see that? They are not protesting right now. Oh my goodness. You can't be serious right now. Do you guys see this? There's a "this is not normal" sign. Oh, they threw it. They threw a sign. Oh my goodness. Did you guys just see that whole little? I don't know. Tell me I'm not the only one that just seen that. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to cover it. I'm gonna have to cover it, guys. You can't make this kind of stuff up. You saw that? Oh my God, I'm glad it wasn't just me, guys. That is nuts. Like, these people need to get over themselves. This is exactly what we voted for. This is as normal as it's gonna get. What was not normal was Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe and his presidency. We didn't even know who was leading our country. On. I mean, come on, guys. The love and the respect that he's getting right now, he can't even make it up to the podium. I think he's shaking everyone in the room's hand first. Talk about crowd control.
President making his way down the center aisle, and
it's about to go down. I can feel it. Just based off those little few events we just seen, it is about to go down. Mark my words, guys.
And the other members of the Supreme Court. Britt, you know, going down that aisle, we remember all of the people who used to pack into that aisle, including the late Sheila Jackson Lee from Texas. There are some, you know, people that just this is their moment to shake the hand of the president.
Exactly.
Either party.
Yeah, and it doesn't really seem to matter too much how they feel at any other time about the president. There's always a certain number of members of the Congress who are selfie seekers, and they will crowd the edge of that aisle so that they can get themselves a picture with the president or shake his hand or be acknowledged by him. He is, after all, the largest figure at any given moment in our government, and at this point, I think in this particular case tonight, it's the largest figure in modern American political history.
Absolutely. Yo, guys, thanks again for being here watching this with me. I'm so glad that I'm able to share this out. Make sure you guys definitely hit that like button. Keep sharing this out to more and more folks. Share this to your friends, your family, everyone, guys. Get the word out there. Trump is about to make history. Telling you. Don't want to miss this one. Are they chanting USA? USA! USA!
And he is nominating a new chairman of the Joint Chiefs, which is quite
Come on now. Make America patriotic again. Let's love our country.
Give the speech, shaking the hands of the Vice President and the Speaker.
He's finally made it to the podium.
To the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, his first joint address in this term, his second overall, and his...
I'm going to switch it over real quick, guys. Oh, this guy hasn't made it in on this one. Let's see. He should be in here. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I want to switch it over to make sure we have the best coverage non-stop from now on out. Shapiro.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
How about that? Nothing but love right there. You love it, man. You love to see that.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Let's go, baby. Get us fired up. USA, USA. Come on, guys. The greatest land.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years or 8 years, and we are just getting started.
I don't want to drop no names, but Joe Biden, Elon's there, yes. Hopefully he speaks too.
I return to this chamber tonight to report that America's momentum is back, our spirit is back, our pride is back, our confidence is back, and the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Who's booing? There we go. Oh my. This is not what I think it is. It's already getting heated. We're not even 3 minutes in.
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525, on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican.
This just shows how nasty they are on the left.
Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact,
You bet.
It's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
There we go. Clap it up.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning.
Get him out of here. Kick him out. Kick him out. Kick them out. Oh my goodness.
Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session.
Oh my. I didn't know it was going to get this spicy, guys, but I knew it was going to kind of get dicey. I didn't know. But dog, it's so early. He hasn't said much. This is just pitiful.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
Get him out,
Provided that members
JD.
continue to engage in
JD,
willful
kick
and
him out.
concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now
Out of
directs the
here.
Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
We got action. Bingo. Get him out of here. Oh, wow. Get him out of here. Just leave. Yes, go. Get out.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House. Mr. President,
This guy ought to be
continue.
ashamed of himself.
Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it.
This is what we voted for. All these folks on the left need to sit down. What are these signs that they're holding
it has
up?
been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation.
Wow.
By many.
That speaks.
And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that?
Wow.
How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Joe Biden said that couldn't be done. Don't forget, folks. Do not forget.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month, and virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my 5th such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
That's just pathetic, though. Like, grow up.
So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Come on now. That's what, oh God, close your eyes, guys. It burns. It burns. Get her off me. Nancy knows she's caught.
Every day my administration is fighting to deliver the change America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Wow.
I terminated the ridiculous Green New Scam. I withdrew from the unfair Paris Climate Accord, which was costing us trillions of dollars that other countries were not paying. I withdrew from the corrupt World Health Organization. And I also withdrew from the anti-American UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office they will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
MTG. Trump was right about everything. I love that hat. Oh my goodness.
And we've ended
Elon was right
weaponized
too.
government where, as an example, a sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too
That
good.
was based. That line right there was so freaking bad A. Oh my goodness. Not too good. Didn't work out well. Look how it ended. They're all crying. Look at their faces.
And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's
Thank
back.
you. Thank you. I'm so tired of the censorship. It hurts. It really does hurt.
And 2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Which seems like a no-brainer to most, but thank you. This is USA, bet.
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
Okay. They've got their signs back out. Look at the Dems. They're crying while we're winning.
And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. We love Alaska. We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And
Really no
our
more.
country will be woke
Pitiful.
no longer. We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Down with DEI.
We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Come on. Thank you.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Peyton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
That's so sad, though. Just that happened. This seems like a no-brainer. Oh, my goodness. So brave, Peyton. So brave. Rock on.
And if you really want to see numbers, Just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. Broke the record by 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer.
Their faces, it's just too good. I love the split screen.
What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
How are you against this? What are they holding up?
Joe Biden especially let the price of eggs get out of control. The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
They're walking out. Oh my.
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%, slowed pipeline construction to a halt, and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill.
Come on now. Say it again for the folks in the back, please.
My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars.
Thank God, because where is our money going? Point them out, Elon, please. This is so good.
And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE.
Point them out.
You've heard of it.
Point them out, Elon. Take a bow. Yeah, take a bow.
Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
Doing the Lord's work.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is.
Let's say, what is that?
$8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
Now that's ridiculous. That one ticked me off.
This is real.
No.
$32 million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male circumcision in Mozambique. $20 million for the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Boom! That's a bombshell.
A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia.
Where?
$42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. We know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, the most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Absolutely. This makes me so angry. It grinds my gears every time they come out with a new one. Like, my money is going where? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Elon.
And we've taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taken back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning. The Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old.
That's insane.
It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139.
You can't make this up.
3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them, and we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does, and it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby.
He's on a roll tonight with the jokes. He's got healthier people than I thought in our country, Bobby. Oh my goodness, look at RK. Make America healthy again. Let's freaking go, guys.
Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229. One person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360 years of age. More than 100 years. More than 100 years older than our country.
They pre-enrolled.
We're going to find out where that money's going, and it's not going to be pretty. By slashing all of the fraud, waste, and theft we can find, we will defeat inflation, bring down mortgage rates, lower car payments and grocery prices, protect our seniors, and put more money in the pockets of American families.
Now that sounds like a freaking plan. Something that old Joe couldn't do. How could you not clap for this?
And today, interest rates took a beautiful drop, big, beautiful drop. It's about time. And in the near future, I want to do what has not been done in 24 years, balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
I believe him, too. I believe it.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated.
Oof.
And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country. We will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
It does not sound like a bad idea. And call them out.
Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk-takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again.
Put your signs down. Your arms are tired.
And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Look at their faces, guys. This is what we voted for. It's like a comedy show right now.
And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history is for this Congress to pass tax cuts for everybody. They're in there. They're waiting for you to vote. And I'm sure that the people on my right, I don't mean the Republican right, but my right here, I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax cuts.
Let's go, guys. He is owning them right now by calling them out straight to their faces. Talk about base.
Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors.
There we go. On the right track. Who's against this? Why? Start by paying your taxes? Oh my goodness.
And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Now that might be a good one. Hold on. I know a lot of Americans love that.
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs. It's a beautiful word, isn't it? That, along with our other policies, will allow our auto industry to absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world.
Let's go, Hoosiers. Let's go, baby. Right here in Indiana with your boy Retro. Go Honda.
And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country, first term. We had a great first term.
This is epic, guys. And that's putting it
If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us tremendously higher tariffs than we charge them. It's very unfair. India charges us auto tariffs higher than 100%. China's average tariff on our products is twice what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher. Think of that, 4 times higher. And we give so much help militarily and in so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens. This is happening by friend and foe. This system is not fair to the United States and never was, and so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not, just one day cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us.
That's how it should be.
We will tax them.
This guy is so funny, though.
If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China, and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer.
It's about time, honestly.
Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. They are, in effect, receiving subsidies of hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to Canada and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars, and the United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA.
Joe couldn't have done that. I'm gonna say it, guys. Kamala couldn't have done that. He's right. Like, come on.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people, and they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to.
Come on now. Get us right. This guy is really playing chess out here. They question him, but he's making all the right moves.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies, they're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
I love the transparency there, stating that bear with me, guys. I know it's going to be
And
a
I
little
have
turbulent.
also imposed a 25% tariff on foreign aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel, because if we don't have, as an example, steel and lots of other things, we don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working at the same steel plant for 27 years in a job that has allowed him to serve as the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Remarkable. Got kids. Gotta do it.
Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much, and I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States.
Oh, wow. Let's go, Melania. It's awesome.
Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by two impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative and is poised to complete her education and become a teacher, and Elliston Berry, who became a victim of an illicit deepfake image produced by a peer. With Elliston's help, the Senate just passed the Take It Down Act, and this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John.
Deep fake
Thank
act.
you, John.
I looked that one up.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank you to John Thune and the Senate. Great job. To criminalize the publication of such images online is a terrible, terrible thing. And once it passes the House, I look forward to signing that bill into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast.
Thank you. Clean it up. We got Tom Homan is not messing around. Come on, guys. We got ice raids going on. It's not the place to mess around.
And I want to thank Tom Homan.
Yep. Come on.
And Christy, I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to.
Back to blue.
Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
How could you oppose this? Look at their faces. This is touching.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
This hurts.
Thank you very much. Since taking office, my administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you.
The little smirk. No, this is the man right here.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation, we must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Kamala couldn't have done this.
Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like nobody's ever seen before. Beautiful towns destroyed. Now, just as I promised in my inaugural address, we are achieving the great liberation of America.
Take it back.
But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
Way to go. It breaks my heart to see these parents. Oh my goodness. Thank you. This guy is just so noble. Like, the things he does is just like, come on now. How could you not be behind Donald Trump?
Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Lakin's murders were members of the Venezuelan prison gang, the toughest gang, they say, in the world, known as Tren de Aragua. 2 weeks ago, I officially designated this gang, along with MS-13 and the bloodthirsty Mexican drug cartels, as foreign terrorist organizations.
Good. Get them off the streets. Absolutely despicable. Like, what? 12 years old.
They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration. But now every last one will be rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy.
Salute. For getting behind Tom Homan. Actually doing his job. This is what we need.
In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control over a whole nation, posing a grave threat to our national security. The cartels are waging war in America, and it's time for America to wage war on the cartels, which we are doing.
Joe was scared to do that as well, guys. I just want to keep a note. You gotta keep, you know what I mean? You gotta let everyone know. Joe would not do that.
5 nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever. But we need Mexico and Canada to do much more than they've done, and they have to stop the fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay so I can sign it into law. So, Mr. Speaker, John Thune, both of you, I hope you're going to be able to do that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
And I believe him. We're only 6 weeks in right now. Look at all the accomplishments. This is nuts.
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years, our justice system has been turned upside down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law. against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing law enforcement against political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi.
Uh-oh. I know some people
Good
are
luck.
scared,
So
shaking
important.
their seats.
Going to do a great job.
They're coming
Cash,
for you.
Thank you.
Go get them.
Thank you, Cash.
Please. Release the files. Imagine.
They've already started very strong. They're going to do a fantastic job. You're going to be very proud of them. We're also once again giving our police officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice.
I mean, look at who was on the other side. It was hard not to vote for Donald Trump. Just made the most sense.
1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer, and tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law.
There we go. These illegals cannot keep getting away with any of this. Get them out of here. This is what we
I'm
needed,
also
and this is what we voted
asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed.
Uh-oh.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Look at the little dude. That's so cute. I love it. Like the Lion King. Let's go. This is too good. This whole address.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Wow. Finally, they're clapping. Oh my goodness. Like, please clap, guys.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Oh my, look at this kid's face. He's still trying to get a grip on it all. Like, wait, what do you mean? This is my badge? Oh, he's got big business to handle at school. He's got a badge, guys. Oh yeah. I'm whipping that boy at lunch. Oh my goodness. The greatest country in the world, guys, right here. DJ.
Thank you, DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger. Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%. Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new Presidential Commission to Make America Healthy Again, chaired by our new Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr.
Look at this guy. Let's go. I'm fired up for this cabinet. I mean, night and day. The comparison is just unreal.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000, and now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong, 1 in 36, think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby, good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January Littlejohn and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually, all without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
These schools.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology.
You got my vote.
I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie.
Absolutely delusion, yeah. Come on, let them know, straight to their faces.
And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you. Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations.
You know we got that handkerchief that thing is clean.
And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference.
There's a reason for that.
And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
Bring him on in.
And Jason, that's a very big deal getting in. That's a hard one to get into. But I'm pleased to inform you that your application has been accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
You can't make some of this stuff up right now. Oh my goodness. This is incredible, guys. What we're watching is going down in the history books. That's so nice. And he deserves it. This is on merit. All on merit. 4.46, guys.
Jason, you're going to be on the long gray line, Jason. As Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
Sweet. Oh my goodness.
And Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it. And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too. So I want to thank you. But it's a very, very important. This is a very dangerous world. We should have it. We want to be protected, and we're going to protect our citizens like never before. To boost our defense industrial base, we are also going to resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding.
Beef us up. Let's go.
And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House and offer special tax incentives to bring this industry home to America where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it. Just today, a large American company announced they are buying both ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others, but others could use it. But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1. But that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back.
Savage, guys. Oh, my.
And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that, or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it. We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together we will take Greenland to heights like you have never thought possible before. It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
See some claps on the right. I see some lefties clapping. Uh-oh. There we go. Wake up. This is all common sense, folks. We should all be clapping.
And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East, we're bringing back our hostages from Gaza. In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords. And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood, actually. I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything.
Who's clapping? Who is clapping right now?
Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
No way. He's called so savage. Look at Liz Warren. She's shaking, guys.
2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened.
Literally.
And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago. Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Joe couldn't have done this either, guys. Looks like that stern talking to that Zelensky got truly helped. It's got a whole different tone and attitude. You gotta love this.
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yes. End it.
It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin. But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine, that we would bring her boy safely back home.
Wow.
After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
That's all it took? 22 days? Come on now. Welcome back. Shifty shift.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant.
Not at all.
And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch.
Thank you,
but
Jesus.
Some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs. 2 others, very fine people, were also seriously hit. But thankfully, with the help of 2 great country doctors, we thought they were gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their two beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Wow. That's remarkable. That's a true hero right there.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his three beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that built our country, and it's love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than ever before. I believe that my life was saved that day in Butler for a very good reason. I was saved by God to make America great again. I believe that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. His job's not done yet.
Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took to defend our children, our country, and our freedom. And as we have seen in this chamber tonight, that same strength, faith, love, and spirit is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American people. Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors crossed a vast ocean, strode into the unknown wilderness, and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier. They chased our destiny across a boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State Building, the mighty Hoover Dam, and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel. We stand on the shoulders of these pioneers who won and built the modern age, these workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities, these warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
Uh-oh. Good things are ahead. You hear that? Who is walking out right now? They just can't take
And through it all, we are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit. And we are going to renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day, we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
America is definitely back, baby. Let's freaking go. I told you guys you're going to want to see this one. They can't take it anymore. The libs have to leave. Look at them.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Oh my goodness. Talk about a fiery address. Wow. But I think they're supposed to be a guest, right? Look how easy those stairs are for our president. Wow.
Thank you very much. Great job.
The difference between him and Joe Biden. Those stairs would have been a tough task.
Thank you. Get this place going, all right? Thank you so much. It's a great honor. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Such respect.
Very much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I'm trying to look around, guys, to make sure I'm not missing anything.
I'm trying to.
This is titled as a joint address. Hold up, guys. Let me turn it down a little bit. Now, this was supposed to be a joint address. No one's left on the right yet, so I think we're good. I think someone else is going to speak. Hopefully it's JD.
So good, sir.
Thank you.
Terrific, Mr. Really terrific. Really outstanding. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good job, Mr. President. Thanks. We got you.
JD's still standing up there, guys. I'm not sure. Do you guys know if did anyone? I didn't get any like specifications or details on who was going to be the guest speaker, so I'm not sure what's going on right now.
I'm not going to get it. Sorry.
Thank you, everybody.
That was history right there, guys. I think that wraps it up. Oh my goodness. Talk about a powerful message. I told you guys before it even kicked off that we were in for a treat, and we got nothing less than a treat. You guys see the way those loonies on the left were reacting. I mean, childish, immature. You're just seeing that right there is the epitome of it all. I mean, that is that Trump derangement syndrome. No matter what that man went up there and said, they were booing, hooting, and hollering, writing nasty notes on those little signs. I'm definitely going to have to cover that for everyone else to see. I mean, it's just ridiculous the way they act. I mean, especially when how can you go against what Donald Trump is carrying out when you're seeing, the families with lost loved ones. And you see where it's a direct result of these open borders, of Joe Biden, the influx of, these illegal migrants, it doesn't make sense to me how these folks can still sit there in their seats and oppose that. I mean, it's sickening to see. But I'll definitely be sure to drop something on that. I definitely have to cover. I seen a couple folks walking out with our resist shirt on the back. And what are you resisting? This is all common sense. This is what we voted for. These folks are forgetting that they're the minority and not the majority, guys. But definitely make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I'll definitely catch you guys on the next one. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I think that's it for the live, though. I don't think he's going to address or have a guest speaker. I guess it was just Donald Trump with a joint address by himself.